All right, let's talk about aging strong. We're going to build a personal blueprint, a real plan for staying vital and powerful as the years go by. And we're going to do it by focusing on what the latest science actually says about protecting your muscles and your bones. It's all about what you eat and a few surprising habits. So let's dive in.
So let me start with a direct question for you. Are you really, truly eating enough to stay strong? It seems so simple, but honestly, the answer is critical. Because here's the thing, our nutritional needs change a lot. What worked for you in your 30s and 40s is just not going to cut it anymore.
And to really get a handle on the solution, we first have to get real about the challenge. When it comes to aging, we're basically fighting a battle on two fronts for our physical strength. One is for our muscles, and the other is for our bones. Okay, let's tackle muscles first. There's a key word here, sarcopenia. Now, I know it sounds a little intimidating, but all it really is the slow, gradual loss of muscle that comes with age. And here's the kicker, the part you really need to know. It can start as early as your 30s. This isn't something that just suddenly happens when you hit 65. It's a long game.
So you can really see these two challenges side by side here. On the left, you've got muscle loss, sarcopenia, which can lead to feeling frail, to falls. And on the right, bone loss or osteoporosis, which, as you know, ups your risk for fractures. They're different issues for sure, but the good news is the strategies to fight them are really connected.
So, how do we fight back, especially against that muscle loss? Well, the answer really begins with one single master nutrient. It is, without a doubt, the most important tool in our entire arsenal. Yep, we're talking about protein.
And here it is. This is the magic number. The research is just overwhelmingly clear on this now. Older adults need more protein than younger people do. The recommendation is 1.0 to 1.2 grams of protein for every kilogram you weigh, every single day. So what does that actually mean? Well, for a 165-pound person, you're looking at about 75 to 90 grams a day. That's our target.
I love this analogy. Think of protein as the repair crew for your muscles. As we get older, our bodies just aren't as efficient at using it, and we actually break down muscle a little faster. So, it just means we need to hire a bigger crew, send in more protein, just to keep everything strong and running smoothly. So how in the world do you hit that target? You know, it's actually way more doable than you might think. Just look at this chart. A simple 3-ounce serving of beef or a cup of Greek yogurt. Bam! That gets you about a third of the way there. The goal isn't to eat these massive portions. It's to be smart and strategic about getting protein in at every meal, starting with the most important one.
Seriously, if you're going to focus on upgrading just one meal, make it breakfast. This is your first, and I would argue your best shot to get a huge head start on your protein goal for the day.
And to really, truly move the needle, the science suggests aiming for a pretty hefty amount, 30 to 40 grams of protein right at breakfast. Why so much? Well, that's the amount that's been shown to optimally trigger what's called muscle protein synthesis. That's just the fancy term for that repair and build process we want to fire up first thing in the morning. And hey, the benefits go way beyond just muscle. A breakfast packed with protein keeps you feeling full, which is a huge help for managing your weight. It keeps your blood sugar stable, so you can say goodbye to that mid-morning energy crash, and it just gives you sustained energy to stay sharp. It literally sets the tone for your whole day.
And just look at the variety we're talking about. You've got your lean meats, fish, eggs, dairy like Greek yogurt, and awesome plant-based sources like lentils and nuts. The key here is just to mix it up and get these foods into your diet consistently.
Okay, let's get super practical. Here are 5 amazing, dietitian-approved ideas to nail that 30-gram target. A Greek yogurt parfait is easy. You can make egg muffins ahead of time for a grab-and-go option. And proats, that's just oatmeal with protein powder and maybe some peanut butter stirred in. That is an absolute game changer. These are delicious ways to make your breakfast really work for you.
Now, protein is absolutely the star of the show, but it doesn't work alone. Think of it like a superstar athlete. It needs a whole team of other foods and nutrients playing critical supporting roles to keep our muscles in top shape.
So, before we go any further, we have to talk about the egg in the room. Right? For decades, we've heard so much conflicting advice about eggs and cholesterol. What does the latest science actually say, especially for us older adults? Well, a major study looking at adults over 70 came back with some pretty jaw-dropping results. It found that people who ate eggs anywhere from 1 to 6 times a week had a 17% lower risk of death from any cause, and get this, a 29% lower risk of dying from cardiovascular disease compared to people who rarely ate them. The takeaway is pretty clear. For older adults, eating eggs in moderation seems to be a good thing, not a bad thing. And beyond eggs, look at this incredible lineup. Wild salmon gives you that double whammy of protein and vitamin D, which is also essential for muscle health. Chicken and tofu are just lean protein staples. And please don't forget your colorful veggies like sweet potatoes and red bell peppers. They're packed with antioxidants called carotenoids, and research is linking those directly to better muscle health as we age.
Okay, we've given muscles a lot of attention, so now let's talk bones. We're going to wrap up with 4 simple, science-backed habits that go beyond what's on your plate to really fortify your skeleton.
Here they are, 4 small habits, but they have a huge impact. First, prunes. Who knew? Studies show eating just 4 to 6 prunes a day can actually reduce the inflammation that's linked to bone loss. Second, finish dinner at least 2 hours before bed. This helps control the stress hormone cortisol, which can harm your bones overnight. Third, ditch the diet soda. The phosphorus in them can literally pull calcium out of your bones. And finally, try isometrics. We're not talking about heavy lifting. Just holding light weights creates tension that wakes up your bone-building cells.
This really just nails the core idea, doesn't it? Your bones are the fundamental structure, the scaffolding, holding you up. And protecting that scaffolding isn't just about loading up on calcium, it's about building in these small, daily habits that reinforce it for life. Okay, we've covered a ton of ground, from protein goals all the way to the surprising power of prunes. Look, the goal here isn't to change everything all at once. The real question is this: what one small change will you make, starting today, to begin building your own personal blueprint for aging strong?